This is the Spirit and Wellness Show. News and information from a higher perspective. With your host, Harry Wilkinson.
Yes, welcome to the Spirit and Wellness Show. This is your host, Harry Wilkinson. And this is the show where we take a look at the events of the week that we have just left behind us. And we look at them from a higher perspective. We look at them in a spiritual way to see what it is we have created, what message it might have for us, what we can learn from it, and how we expand and grow from it. You know, when we're in the heat of the moment during the week and we first hear of things that are designed to push our buttons. They're designed to elicit a response, positive or negative, often anger or outrage or just disbelief. News programs thrive on that. A big part of the editorial job in a news organization is sorting through stories and presenting them in such a way that they will get the largest audience they possibly can, and they do that by finding some way to shock you or disturb you or otherwise get your attention. You know, it's like a child when it wants your attention. It will do anything it needs to. He or she will do anything they need to get your attention as a parent or caregiver, whether that be asking nicely, tugging on your sleeve, throwing something at you, yelling and screaming at the top of their lungs, whatever it is, whatever it takes to get, attention, they'll do it. And that's often what, news media and other forms of media can be like children clamoring for your attention. And so it can be stressful when you're bombarded by a lot of these stories and situations, and oftentimes we don't get a moment to take a step back and go to the higher place to view this situation. I found that the more I do this show and the more I take this sort of weekly break to do this, the more accomplished I become at doing that in the moment. In other words, so I don't have to wait, until I can catch a breath, or wait until, today or Sunday morning or something to, reflect back. I can do it faster in the moment. And more that's happening. So that's an encouraging sign for me. Perhaps it'll be encouraging for you as well as you deal with whatever stressors you may find in your world around you. So in today's show, we'll talk a little bit about news and the headlines, and I mentioned sort of the button pushing aspect of it because this week seems to be one of extraordinarily button pushing stories of shutting down the government, and stories of going to war or not going to war, these sorts of things that are hot button issues and can be very stressful. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. I'm not going to spend much time on it at all because we have so much to do. And to me, the big news of this week is the coming of autumn. So we're going to focus on that, and we're going to also explore more on guided imagery, which I've been talking to you weekly about, and little by little we're getting there. I hope that today I'll be able to do a brief visualization with you that you might find helpful when you are starting to feel stressed or those buttons are getting pushed. So let's get the news out of the way, briefly. Of course, everyone is talking about the possibility that the government will shut down because of a certain adamancy on the part of members of our House of Representatives, Republican members, who are so aggrieved at the idea of national, health care reform in the form of the Affordable Care Act, or as some people like to call it, Obamacare, that they don't want to fund the government to pay its bills unless and until the Affordable Care Act is put on hold. That's the latest that we have now. Why do they want to put it on hold? I think they want more time to kind of dismantle it and kill it. That's my take on it. Now, it's perceived to be, depending on who you talk to, socialism, bad for business, anti-business, confusing, unconstitutional, even though the Supreme Court did rule on it and ruled that it was constitutional. Many, many things. Now, I rarely do opinions on this show, but I'll throw in my 2 cents today. I do have my problems with the Affordable Care Act. It's not the same problems that this bunch in Congress are talking about. I do feel it's confusing. I do feel it'll take a while to sort out. But there is potential for some good things to come. I happen to be of the population that this bill is trying to help. People who need health insurance and do not get it through their employer and have to seek it out on their own. So I'm coming at it with an open mind, but my concern about it is the confusion that is very possible about what is going to happen and what you need to do. And it's very, I found it, there are places you can go, for instance, healthcare.gov, where you can get some clearer information, and I've been slowly getting information about this. The mandate to get insurance and all of those sorts of things. And at first the mandate really bothered me, and now the more I find out about it, the more I understand, that it's a mandate but not really a mandate, and so forth and so on. But to me, my problem with the Affordable Care Act is that it's needlessly complicated, and it's needlessly complicated because it's trying to please insurance companies and a lot of people who have their hands in a lot of lucrative pies that shouldn't be. And rather than do what really needs to be done, in my opinion, which is healthcare for all, universal healthcare, and what they call single payer, which is out of your tax monies, you pay a certain amount of taxes, and you can go and get your healthcare anywhere you need to, whenever you need to, without worrying how to pay and not making some insurance company rich. This is the kind of insurance that most people around the world have, except here. So that's my problem with it. But since it seems like they couldn't gather the will to do that, this is the next best thing. So that's my opinion. And from a spiritual perspective, these discussions are good. These discussions are important. They help bring clarity to what you really want, what's really important to you. A standoff like this can really help you gain clarity about how important is repealing a healthcare bill that you don't like very much. Is it important enough to close down the government? And it's always good to have a moment of clarity to know where you stand on something and to make your stand. As a spiritual being, you need to do that. You need to put out into the world through your physical being what it is you believe in. That's part of what it is to be a spiritual being in physical form. However, after that has been done, you need to also be able to let go. And that, I think, is the lesson for just about everybody who's involved in this. Okay, I think I've said enough on that issue. Now, big news of the week. It's autumn. The autumn equinox is here. And I always like to turn to The Spirit of Place, which is a book by Lauren Cruden that draws on Native American cosmology and the medicine wheel to talk about the changes in the seasons and how we connect to the earth and so forth and so on. So I always like to turn to that book. And on the medicine wheel in Native American cosmology, the west side of the wheel is the place of intuition. It is the place of the setting sun. It is the beginning of twilight, which means the beginning of walking into the mystery. And so here's a prayer from the book I mentioned for the autumn equinox. Great mystery, powers of autumn, of water, I send a voice in prayer. I am asking for entrance through the gates of inner knowledge. I am seeking to cross the realms. Spirits of the waters, help me be fluid in consciousness to move easily in this work. I turn to the setting sun, in the place between day and night, asking guidance for intuition. I pray for the right doors to open, for the ability to look within and make good medicine from what I find there. I pray that I can grow within this work and be of service to others. Powers of twilight, I walk in your mystery and open to your gifts. As we know, autumn is the time of harvest, and on a spiritual level, it's a time of harvesting the fruits of your consciousness and your will. This is the point where manifestation and its flow reaches its peak. And now the flow begins to return inward. So you will become, if you use the powers that this time of year brings, you will begin to go within. You have an opportunity to deepen your consciousness, to get clarity, something I mentioned earlier in regards to the news story we were talking about. and to open to your intuition, your clarity of perception. And we do this by sort of clearing emotional baggage, intellectual baggage, all of these things. So it's just a time for clearing, for making way, for honoring what you have done throughout the year, what you have manifested, in whatever forms it's manifested. And then begin to go within. And so, in order to do this, to help us do this, I want to focus on some imagery that will help us to become more clear and to turn within and to find some peace. This is also, because it's the time of year where there's a lot of things going on as far as going back to school, and then there are all kinds of celebrations and festivals and so forth. This is a time of year that can be rather hectic and rather stressful. So, in order to sort of relax and open to the power of this time of year, the spiritual power of this time of year, we need to go to a peaceful place where you can relax and open. So this is a imagery script, guided imagery script, to help you find that peaceful place within you. And hopefully it will bring you there, help you clear, help you focus, and bring you back rested, ready, energized, and able to take on whatever you need to take on. The purpose of this peaceful place relaxation is to relax your mind and guide you to imagine your own peaceful, safe place. This place will be an imaginary area that you can visualize to help calm and relax your mind when you're feeling stressed, by setting aside a few minutes so that you can relax without having anything else you need to focus on. Find a comfortable position, and for the next few moments, focus on calming your mind by focusing on your breathing. Allow your breathing to center and relax you. Breathe in and out. In and out. In and out. Continue to breathe slowly and peacefully as you allow the tension to start to leave your body. Release the areas of tension, feeling your muscles relax and become more comfortable with each breath. Continue to let your breathing relax you. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Continue to breathe slowly, gently, comfortably. Let the rate of your breathing become gradually slower as your body relaxes. Now begin to create a picture in your mind of a place where you can completely relax. Imagine what this place needs to be like in order for you to feel calm and relaxed. Start with the physical layout of the place. Where is this peaceful place? You might envision somewhere outside or inside. It may be a small place or a large, a forest or a beach. Create an image of this place. Now it's time to add more details about your peaceful place. Who is in this place? Are you alone? With someone else? Are other people present? Animals? Birds? Imagine who is at your place, whether it is only you or if you have company. Now imagine even more detail about your surroundings. Focus now on the relaxing sounds around you in your peaceful place. Perhaps the sound of the wind, or the lapping of water. Now imagine any tastes and smells that your place has to offer. How the air smells, perhaps the flowers. Imagine sensations of touch. What's the temperature? Hot, cold? Maybe you feel a breeze blow across your face. Imagine as many details as you can. Focus on the sights of your place. Colors, shapes, objects, plants, water, all of the beautiful things that make your place enjoyable. To add further detail to this relaxing scene, imagine yourself there. What would you be doing in this calming place? Perhaps you're just sitting, enjoying the place, relaxing, or maybe you're walking around or doing any other kind of activity. Picture yourself in this peaceful place. Imagine a feeling of calm, of peace. A place where you have no worries, cares, concerns. A place where you can simply rejuvenate, relax, enjoy just being. Enjoy your peaceful place for a few more moments. Memorize the sights, sounds, and sensations around you, and know that you can return to this place in your mind whenever you need a break. You can take a mental vacation to allow yourself to relax and regroup before returning to your regular roles. In these last few moments of relaxation, create a picture in your mind that you will return to the next time you need a quick relaxation break. Picture yourself in your peaceful place. This moment you are imagining now, you can picture again the next time you need to relax. When you're ready to return to your day, file away the imaginary place in your mind, waiting for the next time you need it. Turn your attention now back to the present. Notice your surroundings as your body and mind return to their usual level of alertness and wakefulness. Take this feeling of calm from your peaceful place as you return to your everyday life. And that's a meditation. Well, I feel relaxed and energized just reading that to you. So I'm hoping you feel the same. Alright, I have one more thing I want to talk about today. And actually, it is a topic I brought up at the end of last week's program about this concept of neurocinema. And as I've researched it some more, I found that they're actually using this phrase neurocinema in two different ways. Now, the first way that I talked about last week has to do with how it is being used to change the way movies are made. And it is related to a producer by the name of Peter Katz, who started a company called MindSign Neuromarketing. And what MindSign does is to do focus groups. Now, if you don't know what a focus group is, it's when you gather a group of people in a room from various walks of life and show them whatever it is you're making, whether it's a film or a commercial or whatever, and get their opinion on it. With these neuromarketing techniques now, they use MRI technology to see how people's responses that they are not, maybe not consciously aware of, but are there anyway. So with an MRI machine and a scanning of the eyes, they can determine what the brain response in the region called the amygdala, that's also sometimes called the reptilian brain. It's the emotional center of the brain where anger, lust, fear, all of these emotions reside. So they're using this data to try to, particularly in films that involve suspense and that sort of thing, to try to see what makes the brain respond and how well it does that. So there's a certain level of precision that these MRI scanners can reveal about what the brain is responding to and how to elicit that. And so the subconscious mind, which is what they're trying to tap into, is really what we're talking about here. Now, the other way that this phrase is being used, neurocinema, has nothing to do with MRIs. It has to do with movies that are about our senses, our memory systems. So there is a group of people. There's a group of people in the UK that have a neurocinema group where they screen films about people with neurological conditions, and discuss that. And I think it looks like they actually even raise money to help in research on these areas. There's a meetup group that I found. I think it's in Canada, where they're screening, for instance, The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which was a movie that came out maybe 10 years ago, about this speculative future in which when you break up with someone, you can go to this company and they will wipe that person and all of the memories of that person from your mind. And it's about two people who have this done and the results and consequences that they have in dealing with it. So that's an interesting sidebar, if you will, to the neurocinema discussion I've been having. And I didn't realize that it was being used that way. So I didn't mean to confuse you. Perhaps you were looking around the internet and stumbling across these, but those are two totally different ideas. One dealing with our brain chemistry and the other not so much. But We'll talk more, I'm sure, in the future about all of the ramifications of neurocinema. And until then, I wish you a wonderful week.